Das ist Berlin.
Bin ein Berliner.
Ist weit und wie es lacht.
Now we continue my Berlin with Richard Eaton, the director of Berlin International School. Well, thank you, Richard, for getting me my Schultüte.
You're welcome. Welcome to my neighborhood in Schöneberg. One of the things I love about Berlin is the abundance of fresh bread. And this is my first stop every morning about 6:30 for a large coffee and 2 muesli brötchen.
Let's go in there and then we go to your place. Thank you.
Und ich auch bitte, zweimal. It's funny, this is actually, this is
Pretty early. Well, thank you that I can see the beautiful place of yours, Richard.
Yeah, we're here on the Winterfeldplatz. I've been really lucky to live in a lot of different places around the world. I lived in Moshi in the Kilimanjaro region of Tanzania. I had a beautiful view of Mount Kilimanjaro every morning. I lived in Shanghai, got to see the Shanghai skyline every night. But really for me, there's nothing more special than living on a market square in Europe. And when I saw this view, my wife and I knew that this was the place for us. 2 days a week here on the Winterfeldplatz, there's a fresh market. It's fantastic to leave your house, have fresh food right there on your doorstep. It's Berlin. I've become fascinated with this area and have looked at pictures of this area in the 19th century. This was one of Berlin's quintessential squares 100 years ago, and it's still an important meeting point for people from the Schöneberg neighborhood.
Wow, that's great. And let's go inside. I'm cold.
Yeah,
and then
come on
you
in.
have to tell me about
Come on in.
Tanzania, where you grew up, and all of
Come
that.
on in.
Yes. Okay. Wow, nice place. So tell me, before you came to Berlin, you must have been born somewhere. Where were you born?
So I was fortunate to have been born in one of the most beautiful states in America, Michigan.
Huh?
This is actually a view of my university's football stadium. It's known as the Big House. And I was really fortunate to go to the University of Michigan, to graduate with a degree in social studies and history and education. And this part of my house represents, in fact, many phases of my life. Before university, I was very into skateboarding. And yeah, first
like
time.
Tony Hawk.
Like Tony Hawk. I was
I
a
know
big
him.
fan. I was a big fan.
Great.
When I first came to Berlin, all I wanted to do was skateboard on the wall back in 1988.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to ride my skateboard up the Berlin Wall, do what's called a wall ride in skate talk. And if we move over here,
Yes.
Back in those days, I was a big fan of a band. Maybe you've heard of them, called the Ramones.
Ramones.
Yeah.
That was 1980?
Yeah, in the 70s.
Yeah.
70s. We go way back. We go way
Ramones.
back.
Okay.
But I've also had an opportunity to, in my educational career, live in Tanzania, and this is some tinga art from Tanzania, and this is the view I had from the school I worked in of Mount Kilimanjaro.
No way.
Yeah,
And you climbed, I heard, 4 times the Kilimanjaro, which is which height?
6 times.
6 times the
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro? You're really sportive.
Actually, it's 5 times. Sorry.
It's okay.
So I actually climbed Kilimanjaro 4 times when I lived in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And once later with my wife. And it's about 6,000 meters high. I was really fortunate to climb it several times with groups of students as well. In Tanzania, we had an amazing outdoor pursuits program, and the students had to go through various trial expeditions before they got a chance to take on the summit, and those that made it through 4 lower level treks.
How did you get in touch with Germany for the first time? Your mother, your father? Or?
So my father actually was in the military in Germany in the 50s, and he brought my mother to Europe.
Where was he stationed?
He was stationed in Kitzingen, down in Bavaria. And he brought my mother to Europe when they got married for the first time and shared his love of Europe with her.
Yeah.
And in the mid-'80s, my mom applied for a job with Department of Defense dependent schools.
Okay.
And she got a job teaching in the Netherlands. So I went to an American international school in the Netherlands where I graduated, which is why I speak a little bit of Dutch.
Yes.
And now my mom works in Baumholder in Germany, teaching at an American school there. She's, I won't say her age, but a veteran of the profession, still going strong, a first grade teacher after all these years. And it was my father, having lived in Europe, his connection to Germany, that inspired my mom to apply for a job working in Europe, that brought me to Europe for the first time.
And you followed their footsteps.
In a way, and made some magical adventures of my own, crazed joyride along the way.
Yeah. And then it's one of the biggest history Berlin has to tell, and you studied history too.
I studied history, so for me, this has been so magical to get to come to Berlin and see Berlin at this point in its history, and it's a developing city. I think that's why people love Berlin, because it's not what it was, it's not what it's gonna be, it's still becoming. And I think there's a strong link to that and the kind of education at our school that we offer to young people. They're still becoming, and we get to be part of that journey. We get to shape and mold and sculpt them along the way and be part of that process. And having gone to an international school myself, I know how important this experience is for young people who are living abroad. And my job is to try to make it a smooth one, a positive one, and a special one.
Yeah, and you have a wife and a child, and they seem to...
My son's at that age where he's into Duplos. He likes his Legos. And yeah, I
But
hear...
you don't have a problem with that either, with Star Wars, I see.
There is some Star Wars memorabilia around here. As I said, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. But I enjoyed other people's kids for a lot of years. And finally, in my early 40s, I had my own son. And it's the best thing I've ever done. And so, yeah, it's magic. As you know, you're a parent.
Yes. And you have a beautiful place you made yourself. And we're going to go soon to the Brandenburger Gate.
That's right. Do you want me to tell you what we're going to do there?
Yeah, what we're going to do there.
So today is a special day because we have a group of students who've come all the way from Central America, from Guatemala, to meet with our students. We talked about our students learning Spanish, and our students are going to meet this group of students from Guatemala, and they're going to get to go around Berlin together, talk not in German today, but in Spanish, and experience the city together. Was sagt man auf Deutsch? Information Austausch. Information Austausch, genau. So unsere Schule machen einen Information Austausch mit dieser Schule aus Guatemala.
And you chose the Brandenburger Gate?
As a meeting point. What a natural treffpunkt.
So we're going to go drive there, and then you're going to show me maybe a few other places you like from the car.
Great.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You're going to drive with me?
I'm going to come with you.
And I'm going to take my shoe too.
Bring it along.
I will. Thank you. I got my Zuckertüte.
I've got my skateboard.
So, show me your Berlin. So, Richard, come in. I got my car.
All right, thanks for the ride. I thought I was going to have to skate.
You can skate later.
I will. So I love living in Schöneberg. You can be anybody, you can be anything, you can have a day job doing this, that, or the other thing, but be yourself at night. And it's truly a unique part of the world. There aren't a lot of places like that.
It's multicultural too.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw in the bakery, as we see all around us, Indian food, Turkish food, Thai food, Vietnamese food, Greek food. I've been looking for a good German restaurant in the neighborhood, actually.
It's hard to find.
Do you want to recommend one?
I don't know one, but it also has lots of history. It was in the west part of the city.
That's right. And the history goes back to before the Second World War. This was one of the neighborhoods that was historically red, and Hitler wanted to flatten Schöneberg and build his Manhattanized Berlin right here. So there's a dark history as well to it.
So Richard, how do you go around?
So after several years of driving in Shanghai, I have fallen in love with the Berlin public transportation system. I'd happily do an ad spot for them. It's fantastic compared to where I lived in Asia. Not crowded, things run smoothly, efficiently. It's great. It's quick, straight to work from the Nollendorfplatz, right to Podelsky Alley, 5-minute walk on either side. And yeah, it's the best way to see the city.
Yeah,
I hear-
that's true. The
yeah,
S-Bahn ring.
Yeah. I hear the ambassador likes it too.
Yeah, he does too.
What was interesting to me with the Ringbahn is seeing all the Kreuzbahnhofs and how it makes it so easy for people to come into the center of the city, and then often they'll ride their bikes. They tie their bikes up and then get on the Ringbahn and go to work or wherever. It's just a very easy city to get around with wonderful public transportation.
Yeah, makes a big difference, keeps the city greener because of the public transportation.
Since you've been all over the world, which city would you compare, which is closest to Berlin?
Closest to Berlin. Actually, in terms of international education and the way things have exploded in the last 20 years and the way the city's spread out with different neighborhoods, I'd say Shanghai actually is a lot like Berlin.
And now we're almost soon at the Brandenburger Gate, and
We're
we're going
almost
to
there.
meet your
Gonna meet my students.
ex-students.
No, we're gonna meet my students, and they're there waiting for us.
Yes.
There's a group of students from Central America there, and let's see what happens.
I'm looking forward to it. So before we meet your students, you have to show me your skateboard skills.
Can I do that here?
Well, I don't know. Let's just try it. Ooh. The teacher. Hey. Richard, I'm pretty impressed. Wow, that is amazing. It's amazing.
It's old school.
Who would ever thought? So that's old school. We're new school. Let's meet the students.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, welcome, guys. Good to see you. Welcome, 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 welcome to Germany. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome to Germany.
Wow. How long have you not seen them?
We've never met these students. They've come all the way from Central America for today to meet with our students and speak Spanish, tour Berlin together, and enjoy a day and make memories.
Really, really great. I like your school. I love it that it's so international, multicultural. That's the perfect fit in Berlin.
And again, I think this is a great example of how we use the community. Young people from all over the world want to come to Berlin to experience the city. And we try to get in contact, make connections, and make it a learning experience for our students and theirs.
You have an aura around your face and you're really enjoying what you're doing in your job.
I've enjoyed today. Thank you.
And you love Berlin. I mean, I can tell that you love
I feel
Berlin.
really lucky to live here. I feel really fortunate to live here. It's a beautiful city, clean air, wonderful people, great history. It's all the things you'd want in a European city, in a world city, and I just really appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
I want to thank you that you are showing me your Berlin by my Berlin.
It's our Berlin.
Before I say my final farewell, I had to skate through the Brandenburger Gate.
That was a beautiful day with Richard Eaton, the director from Berlin International School. And I got a Zuckertüte. I'm now at the end of the show. I hope to see you next time by My Berlin.
Das ist Berlin, wie es weint und wie es lacht.
Bin ein Berliner.